If Madden 23 had these features, then the game would actually be playable. EA, I hope you're watching. The biggest feature that would make Madden 23 10 times better is create a team. In NHL, a game developed by EA, you're able to create your own team for franchise mode. Like, imagine having an actual storyline in Madden where the Texans scrimmaged some high school team and lost, so they're looking for a new franchise to step in and take their spot in the NFL. Then you can design your own logo, build your own stadium wherever you want, and just take over the NFL. Instead, right now, the best you can do is start a fantasy draft, but this just isn't realistic. If I'm starting a franchise in real life, I would have to win my way up through the smaller leagues like the XFL, USFL, and so on. On top of that, I wouldn't get access to the top players right off the bat. I know for sure that a #1 pick will not be signing to my brand new franchise unless I'm some millionaire or something, but I should have to start out the game with a bunch of no names and then just build from the ground up. And on top of that, we have our next feature, more customization. Once again, I'm kind of pulling from NHL on this one because the franchise mode on that thing is insane. On it, you can customize your jerseys, your stadium, and you can even create events that happen whenever someone scores. I want to make it where fireworks shoot off if I score during a night game, or just design the best jerseys in the league. And on top of that, I want to make money off of my jersey sales in game. I know FIFA has that feature, and that's pretty crazy. The possibilities are endless here, but just not in Madden. In my opinion, FIFA and NHL are doing it right, and that's kind of weird because it's still the same developer. But I do think it would be really cool to see some of these features come to the game. And if you're enjoying the video so far, be sure to like it. Thanks. Another crazy feature that would change Madden forever would be the ability to draw up your own plays. In real life, football coaches are able to create their own plays with just a whiteboard and a marker, so why can't we do it in Madden? Not only would it be super fun to do, but I also think that it would help to limit the amount of cheese plays in the game. You could just draw up a defense to cover every option. I think the best way of going about this would be to utilize the training mode that players rarely go into and just have the capability of designing your own plays. Then you could run them against different coverages and so on. And kind of carrying on that same route, I think we should be able to slide players into any position. Right now, Madden just decreases their overall extremely if this happens, but in real life, that's how football works. Literally in the college football championship, we saw now current NFL player Jordan Davis slide into the halfback role, and he even scored a touchdown. Okay, so apparently I am completely wrong about Jordan Davis scoring in the national championship, but he did score against Georgia Tech one game, so it's still somewhat viable. But if I try to do that in Madden, he's becoming like a 66 overall right away. I want more big man touchdowns in Madden, but I can't do that if EA's preventing me from playing players out of their position. And going along with that, I think that Ultimate Team could utilize a house rules game where your team's positions are completely randomized. Maybe you unluckily get stuck with a lineman at quarterback, and then you just have to make do for that play. I think that this would be a really fun game mode, so I'm hoping something like this comes during Madden 23. And speaking of Ultimate Team, I really hate how it's the only game mode with legends in it. Why can't we play our franchise mode with legends? I would love to have a big Super Bowl game where like my running back gets injured, so I have to somehow sit down with Marshawn Lynch and convince him to come out of retirement to play for me. Especially with the new player tag systems, I think that being able to sign like Calvin Johnson to my team to mentor one of my receivers would make the game even more realistic than what it's about to be. And it's not like I just made up that scenario. The Lions are literally signing Calvin Johnson to mentor their rookie receiver Jamison Williams. Another cool addition would be the ability to play as past teams. I know that 2K utilizes this perfectly. You're able to play with some of the past teams that have dominated at their time, and you can even see how they stack up against teams nowadays. So with this, we could see if Tom Brady on the Pats could take down the Super Bowl winning Bucks. I think that also implementing a 7v7 mode similar to how Blacktop works would be super cool. We know that EA already has the capability to do this because they already have the yard, but instead of playing with our creative player, it would be cool to have a draft for past players or current players. If this feature does somehow get added, then I'm going to be playing it for sure, so if you want to see that, then be sure to subscribe. I'm uploading daily Madden videos every day at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Now, getting back on track, I think another big change that needs to happen is Switch compatibility. I personally don't have a Switch, but I don't see how hard it is to make Madden a game on it because I remember as a kid being able to play Madden on my DS. I know that back then it was a lot worse graphics, but if Madden did somehow come to Switch, I think it would kind of incentivize me to make a big boy purchase. That being said, I would only really want to do it if crossplay was a thing, which for some reason, Madden still hasn't added to the game, even though we're getting the feature in FIFA 23. I just think it would be really fun to play with my friends on other consoles because I'd personally prefer not to have to buy a separate console just to play with my friends on PlayStation. But it's fine, EA. Don't add it. It's fine. And to add on to that, can we just talk about how PC still isn't next gen? I really don't understand what makes something next gen because it definitely isn't powered because I know for a fact my PC can run Madden better than a console can. On top of that, PC also has mods that you can install, which would be really cool to play, but I simply can't because for one, it's not next gen. and 2, crossplay isn't a thing, so I would only be able to play against other PC players. Now, switching up the speed of things, we're gonna do a quick speed round, starting with no more end cats in Ultimate Team. This just seems stupid, like, why can't we sell any card that we want? Next, we have trick plays. I feel as though trick plays are becoming more and more of a thing, yet I still can't perform double passes in Madden. I want flea flickers, I want passes on kickoffs, and I want trick kickoffs especially. I also want to pin missions on my screen. Right now, I'm grinding out the rookie premier missions in 22, and I don't know where my progress is because I can't even see it on my screen. Listen, I've had 7 concussions, so my memory isn't the greatest, so EA, if you're watching this, please add this. And on top of that, I think that also adding a better career mode would be sick. Right now, we have somewhat of a story and face of the franchise, but once you get out of the college scene, you just get stuck into a normal franchise league. I think that the story should continue. In FIFA's version, you're working towards breaking your grandfather's records, and throughout the way you develop rival players, and I think this could be easily introduced to the game. They already attempt to do this, but it's just us texting another player, which just doesn't seem realistic. Another cool thing would be better stat tracking. In both 2K and FIFA, they constantly bring awareness to your stats. Like whenever you're coming close to breaking a record, the announcers always know about it, and they be sure to mention how you could possibly break it that game. I think that this would be a really cool feature to add into the Madden 23 game. They already have next gen stats, which is a huge step in the right direction, and EA is already changing Madden 23 immensely. They're possibly adding 3 additional slots to the franchise trade block, but you can learn more about that in the video on your screen right now because I'm done.